Hey, in this video, we're gonna teach you how to increase your engagement on Instagram stories. And it's by way of making the action that you're getting people to take easier. We were having a conversation the other day about this, about YouTube actually. I have a YouTube example, but it filters over into Instagram so flawlessly. And the fact on YouTube is, instead of getting the person, the consumer who you want to take the action, your target audience, instead of getting them to reach out to you, that can be a pretty bold step, and you've got to time it perfectly, right? We're kind of shifting into maybe a little bit different CTA, giving them like a lead magnet, a free resource of some sort in exchange for contact details. And after studies and learning about this a little bit, we kind of know that will convert better than just, hey, text me or call me.
Right.
And if you take that over onto Instagram, it's kind of a similar thing. Instead of DM me, which could be kind of a big move for somebody at the beginning, you can instead just say, hey, hit yes on the poll. It does the same exact impact that them DMing you does. It lets you know that they are interested, except for the action that they're taking is so much easier for them, from a psychological standpoint. So we can just open up the conversation there, but maybe you show or talk about an example they could do. Mm-hmm. Instead of that CTA being DM me on this, just it's a poll,
Yeah, I think, and maybe this isn't the right way of categorizing it, but kind of like hard selling versus soft selling. Mm-hmm. So like you said, from the viewer's perspective, if you're on your story, and this can work sometimes, but the idea that we're getting at is, if you just say, hey, text or call me if you're interested in buying real estate, if I see that, I'm immediately turned off. We're advertised everywhere we go all day long, phones, in real life. Mm-hmm. So we're very jaded to hard selling. So what AJ is suggesting is, can you elicit engagement with you in your business on social media that doesn't feel as if they're being sold to? And you talked about an example. So actually in the description, you can check out Digital Real Estate Academy. We actually have a couple modules on this and a bunch of more examples, but basically what we refer to them as story sequences.
Yeah.
And you had a really awesome case study with this, which is the example I'll bring to the table, and then you can kind of expand on it. But it was effectively a couple stories back to back to back, telling a story. And then the last slide on that Instagram story was, I believe, a poll. So it was the one about, I think, a first-time homebuyer's guide.
It was, I know what it was.
Or
it was a video breaking down the home buying process.
Yes,
that's what it was. Super educational video. You want me to talk about that for a second?
Yeah,
okay, cool.
Super fire example.
So this is an example of cross-promoting, using one idea to put it on the multiple social channels. But I made a YouTube video that breaks down the entire home buying process for people that are not that educated on the topic. Typically first-time home buyers, or maybe somebody who had a bad experience the first time and is buying their second property. But what I did on Instagram afterwards was I warmed up the audience on my story and then had them make a decision at the end. And what that looked like was something like, I can't remember the exact words, but it was like,
it was basically, in the coming weeks, I'm going to be making a step-by-step video on the entire home buying process.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, I basically told them what I was doing. Hey, I made a video on this. If you would be interested in seeing that video or getting this breakdown when I post it, hit yes on this poll and I'll send it over to you. Okay. So what ended up happening was, I think I got 14 yeses or something like that. And that's pretty powerful. And I think I would have gotten less of a conversion if I would have said, DM me if you want this.
Yeah. Or just if you would have said, hey guys, if you're looking to buy a home in the near future.
That's an example I have here. So the difference in the two, it's very slight, but it will get people to act way different.
Yeah, it's all psychology.
Yeah, so one example is, hey, if you're looking to buy in the next 6 months and need help finding a place, I'd love to help, message me. What is in it for them other than the fact that they saw the story, right? Mm-hmm. Instead, it should be something along the line. I didn't write an actual script or what you would say, but instead create a resource that is extremely valuable to them, to that exact person that you're talking to. And then say, hey, I've already created this. If you want access to it, just hit yes on the poll and I'll send it right over.
Yeah, it's simple.
Then they're sitting there thinking okay, I am in this buying mindset. If you would have posted the first option, they may have never reached out. They're like, I don't want to start a sales conversation at all. But now you have something they want, which is this guide breaking down the entire, everything they want to know. The best neighborhoods for them in their price point, things like that. just free stuff you can give away. That is a way to increase, the amount of people that are raising their hand on social profiles. You
Right,
know?
because real estate, as you know, has long operating cycles, and people aren't always in the day-to-day looking to buy or sell necessarily.
Yeah.
So you have to figure out how you can cater to these people when they're not in the decision-making process urgently. So the example AJ gave is, like, for example, if you're looking to buy a home in the next 6 months, need help finding a place, I'd love to help, message me. That's going to turn a lot of people off who maybe, it's the beginning of the year and I want to buy at the end of the year, and I'm getting to the point of getting more ingrained in the decision making and the purchasing process, but I'm not ready yet. However, if it was in the back of my mind of wanting to buy at the end of the year, if you said something like, hey guys, I put together a master list of every neighborhood in Fort Lauderdale, price points, amenities, things to do, location. If you want this guide, respond to this poll, yes or no. So if I'm seeing that from the consumer's perspective, I'm not being sold anything. It's a low pressure commitment because it's literally just probably a PDF or something.
Don't
with
even
a
have
list
to
of
talk to the
neighborhoods.
person, which is the big thing.
Yeah. I don't have to get on a call. You're not selling me anything. I don't have to commit to you. But I got a lot of value, and you deposited a lot of goodwill with me, and now that goodwill, people subconsciously or more consciously these days will reciprocate that.
Absolutely, yeah. So that's good. And then obviously, I'll end it with this. But when you do something like that, you now, for example, like that lead magnet, if you were to exchange contact details on YouTube, I know we were talking about Instagram, but you now do have their email, so you can then follow up with them over a long period of time and kind of get them started on the sales cycle rather than just trying to time it perfectly when they're ready to make a decision.
Yeah.
That's
and
all
even
I wanted
if,
to throw in there.
And just to capstone everything, even if you didn't have something to exchange for contact information, even if you just put a poll and they responded yes, if they wanted that neighborhood resource, you've started a conversation that you might not have had otherwise. And conversations lead to conversions.
Absolutely.
So the more conversations you have on a consistent basis, that's why eliciting engagement is so, so powerful.